Excuse my outburst, Michael. I shouldn't have behaved that way. It's not like me. But this new world brings out the worst in all of us. It's just that I can't stand to see Colin suffer this way. So for your own good, please, stay away from this room.
Away? Why?
It's no use trying to hide it. You're bound to find out sooner or later. Colin is very sick, and the authorities claim his illness is highly contagious.
Highly contagious? Is he one of the dissolved?
Michael! I won't let anyone use that word in my house! Yes, Colin caught that damn disease.
А в чем именно заключается?
What exactly does the disease consist of?
I don't know, Michael. No one really does. The only news is what the army brings us. They say the disease is highly contagious, and it's our duty to turn over all victims to the cleanup brigades. But no one has ever come back after being carried off in one of those ambulances. No one. So we can't let them take Colin. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand.
They say that all the victims are condemned, that there's no salvation for anyone, that at the end of their suffering and their trances lies certain death. I think that even the army is afraid of the victims. Really strange things happen around them, Michael. Things you wouldn't believe.
Что происходит вокруг?
What things happen around people infected with the disease?
Strange things with no possible explanation.
Но ваша жена
In their
нормальна.
trances, they go places, Michael. They bring back information. They know things. They talk to people who are no longer with us. And we've been living like this for weeks. The things that are happening around Colin are getting more and more confusing and hard to bear.
Talking to the dead? Jesus. This man's nerves are shot from the exhaustion and stress.
Ну как Колин заразился?
How did Colin get infected?
We don't know. No one knows how the disease is spread. The only thing we know is that the disease appeared after the catastrophe and that it's spreading like wildfire.
So the Great Wave brought the dissolved with it?
Yes, but don't use that word again. Not in this house, anyway. It's so cruel and disrespectful. In effect, that's the only thing we know for sure about all this insanity. The Great Wave took everything from us and left us with this epidemic.
То есть, если у меня вдруг мороженое растает, я не смогу сказать, мне мороженое
Only there was something I could do.
Well, Michael, you can help us. I'm convinced that our finding you was no coincidence. You've got to help us.
У тебя болезнь есть? Но амнезия, как подсказывают миллионы сериалов, говорит, что если у тебя есть амнезия, значит амнезия помогает против всех болезней. Все.
But you said yourself that all the victims are condemned. What can I do?
No, all is not lost. In the camp, there are rumors of a cure. It seems that in the city, on the other side of the fence, the victims have access to a drug. But we can't get it here. And my contacts out there, well, let's just say they can't do anything to help.
Значит, есть лекарство.
So there's a drug that can cure them?
Yes, but they say that producing it takes a long time and is very expensive. And so it's reserved for city dwellers who can afford to pay for it. Get us that drug, Michael. I beg of you, please. Colin's time
А чем
is
вы
running
платите,
out.
если ваш мир сдох в сущности? Не понимаю. То есть вон уже с кредитной карты нехилой.
Getting involved looks dangerous. I saw that shooting out there. There's also the possibility of infection.
Infection? Are you afraid for your life, Michael? Without our
да.
help, you'd be dead right now. Dead. Don't forget that. What's more, I could help you in return. I could help you get back what you lost. Don't you see?
Give me back what I lost? But you hardly know me, Rod.
I know the essential part, Michael. I know that you're a blankhead.
Blankhead? What the devil does that mean?
A blankhead is a person with no memories, who can't remember anything. It seems that the Great Wave had an enormous neurological impact on certain people, Michael. You're not the only one, or even the worst case. There are people who even forgot how to talk and how to walk after the explosion. Some ended up dying of starvation. They forgot what food looked like, how to chew it, even that eating was a necessity. You can consider yourself lucky. You still remember how to keep yourself alive. And that's the important thing. The natural recovery process is slow. It can take months, if at all. Listen to me, Michael. A man without memories is just a shadow. Or even worse, he's nobody. I still have some contacts out there. I was an important man in the municipal government. I could trace your name, your data in public records, your fingerprints. I could restore your whole life in the blink of an eye. But please, help us.
I'm grateful for your help, Rod, and for everything you people have done for me. But...
Listen to me, Michael. We know that it's possible that our son is condemned to die. In fact, my wife and I have everything prepared for when he leaves us. Our child is the only thing that keeps us holding on in the new world. Nothing would have any meaning for us without him. So if there is even the slightest chance of saving him, we are prepared to do whatever it takes. Please, Michael, help us. For God's sake, listen to him. He's just a child.
Rod, come in here, quickly!
Bring us that cure, and we'll help you get your life back. Colin is our only hope in this new world. Help us save our future, and I'll give you back your past. I promise you.
Я же сказал.
Goodbye, Michael.
No, Rod, wait. Bring a drug? Is he out of his mind? That man wants me to put his son's life in my hands? I can barely remember who I am.
Вот.
When I probably wouldn't last more than a few hours out there. But Rod was right. A man without a past is nothing more than his shadow. He offered to help me get my life back, my memories. So if I want answers, I have only one possible course of action, to get that drug.
Okay, go.
Wait a minute. Before leaving, I should write down everything important I find out in this notebook. It might come in handy if, as Rod says, I'm one of the blankheads the great wave left in its wake.
Кто тут негр? Негр это ты, наверное, да? Типа...
Time's left these hinges.
Нравится, как они соединили
There's no way I'm going to be able to break open this door with my bare hands. Listen, and can I ask you a few questions?
I'll answer any.
Well,
где крышка? Ну ладно, идем туда. А вон крышка. I love you. Сейчас сколько время? 8 часов, да? Начать дрелить 8 часов, это хорошо. Что здесь есть вообще?
a quick glance at these tents is enough to make you realize how forsaken these poor people are, confined against their will inside the camp. It's the enormous fence around the perimeter of the camp, with surveillance from the towers and on the ground. This barbed wire fence intensifies the feeling of claustrophobia in here, making it even more suffocating. In the distance, you can see the skyline of the city. It doesn't seem that far away. From what people say, things work somewhat better there. Could that be true?
Все возможно.
Although it looks hastily and shoddily built, it's surprising to see a brick-and-mortar building amid all these shacks in the refugee camp. No doubt this must belong to someone important, or with very good contacts in here.
Окей, идем. Как жил?
Another camp inhabitant. He seems quite elderly. What's he doing here all by himself? Hello.
Hello, son. Would you like to get a little closer to the fire?
Thanks, mister. This is a rather isolated part of the camp. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm
Waiting.
That's all. Just waiting.
А чего именно? Смерти,
Waiting.
наверное.
And what is it you're waiting for exactly?
Nothing in particular. The usual. For the fire to go out, for sunrise, for it to get cold again. I'm waiting for something to change. Or for everything to stay as it
Я
is.
очень
I'm just
люблю
waiting.
этого человека. Где ваша полоска?
Starting to get cold. Where's your tent? Or your trailer?
Yes, I had a tent once. They issued me one when I decided to enter the refugee camp after the Great Wave. The trailer was out of the question. They went to the families with the best contacts. Ah, you know how it is. Even in purgatory, some people are more equal than others.
You say that you decided to enter the camp. Does that mean that people weren't forced to come here?
Oh, no. Of course not. Why would they have to force us? The catastrophe hit the city hard. Those of us who had lost our homes were invited to come here. In principle, it was temporary, just until the authorities got the situation under control and started rebuilding. We used to have food, water, a place to sleep.
But now it's more like a prison camp than a refugee center. What happened?
I don't really know. I guess something went wrong. The new housing they promised us never got built. And in the end, the army seized control of the camp. The food ran out, and then the water supply. Nobody bothered to replace them. Seems like our lives didn't matter anymore.
I see.
In time, things in here started to get very ugly. There were riots, uprisings, and the army decided to close the gates of the camp without any notice. One day they decided that no one could enter or leave here. Well, actually, people still could. Enter, that is. Now, this is where anyone who gets in the way in the city ends up. Or anyone they don't know what to do with.
So, this has turned into something like a concentration camp.
Yeah.
That's right, son. That's exactly what it is. You know, it's funny. I remember when my father told us about the war in Europe, about all the persecution, deportations, those overcrowded cattle cars. That all sounded to us like an old movie, an old horror movie.
Теперь это реальность.
Now, I guess some things never change. They just stop being visible for long enough for us to forget about them.
I love him. А где теперь ваша походная палатка?
And where's your tent now?
It was stolen from me a while back. They fetch a good price on the black market now.
Stolen? But how could anyone...
You seem to be new in the camp, am I right? These things happen nowadays. It's best to take things as they come. The reality of the new world is very simple, son. The soldiers and the moles do whatever they like on this side of the fence. And the hunter and his men run the black market and all the dirty rackets. I suggest you memorize all this.
The hunter? I've exchanged a few words with him, but I hardly know him. Yes. The man who protected me during all the shooting. He seems like someone with good connections and some answers. Could he know anything about the drug for treating
Все возможное.
Do you know where I
Но
can
не
find him?
сейчас.
You can find him in those barracks at the back. That's his... Well, let's say it's his logistics office. Now, the hunter is very dangerous. Watch your step around him and his men. I happened to meet his father when he was young. He was a violent, degenerate son of a bitch. A real asshole. And I'm afraid his son has followed in his footsteps.
Да вроде бы
Let's
он
talk about
нормальный.
something else.
Скажи, можно ли как-нибудь выбраться из
So
лагеря?
tell me, is there any way to get out of
Он
the
только
camp?
что сказал нет.
I'm sorry, son. The only way to get out of this camp is to know someone important who can pull strings for you. Or to become a camp mole. Those traitorous scumbags have gate passes.
I see.
I'm not surprised you want to get out of this shithole. You've no doubt got something to do or someone to find out there. Well, they say things are better in the city. That there's order and that things are starting to function again. But who knows? Well, at least they have Reverend Blake and the consolation of Suicide Park.
И улыбается. Что такое парк самоубийств?
Suicide Park? What's that?
Nah, just a song that drifts into the refugee camp from the other side of the fence now and then. And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I, when the sun departs from Suicide Park. I'm sure you still have some hopes, some dreams. I'm afraid you're just too young to understand it.
Кто такой преподобный Блейк?
Who's Reverend Blake?
He's a preacher. Sometimes comes from the city to bring us a little comfort. Now, some people make jokes about him, but many of us believe that he's a prophet. You should hear him speak sometime. His words etch themselves deeply into your soul. That's why he has so many followers inside and outside the camp.
Хороший психолог. Насколько мощно удар нанесла великая
And what was
волна?
the extent of the Great Wave's impact? How are things beyond the city?
Truth is, I couldn't tell you. In the first days, the chaos was so overwhelming that no one worried about anything beyond their own backyard. We victims were disoriented, cut off from the world. Then I came into the camp, and news from far-off places doesn't reach this prison. I'm afraid you'd have to leave here to get the answer to that question.
Мне пора.
I should be going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister. Dented,
Еще
dirty, and
бочки.
in pretty bad shape. In this corner of the camp, there are drums stored everywhere you look.
Чё, взять можно? Давай.
Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these drums at all. I don't know what they contain, but whatever it is, it weighs a ton. It's a thick cable that runs along that building's roof, but I can't see it very well from here. It's too high.
Так поставь одну на другую.
Okay. It's a...
У меня до них хрена нет. Может согреться дать ему?
Better not. If I give this bottle away, know what's worse, I wouldn't. Dozens of stored drums stacked chaotically. What the devil could be in them? And who might want to keep them here? Another brick and mortar building. That's the second one I've seen inside the camp. These structures stand out like mansions in the misery that dominates this place. Its owner must be someone important. This bright light leaves no doubt about where the entrance to the building is. There are some insects fluttering around it that end up getting scorched by the heat and dropping dead.
Отличное описание.
It's a bunch of open beer cans, dented and empty. I'm not sure why, but I find the smell of stale alcohol they give off distasteful, like all the other odors in this place. Stain from spilled drinks, rings from glasses and rust. The bartender looks out from the other side, seemingly bored and apathetic.
Но какая у него еще должна-то быть? Ты что?
Most of these bottles have been opened, and they look like they've been reused hundreds of times. They're filled with a grayish liquid with a rather unappetizing appearance. Oh, that's the background music for the establishment. The speaker is cranking out a dreary, droning country song, and it's getting on my nerves.
What are you having, pal?
Nope, I'm afraid I don't have any cash on me.
That's no problem here. We don't only accept cash, we also barter. We accept anything of value. That excludes checks, naturally.
Занятное место.
Interesting place. Are you the owner?
No, pal, don't get the wrong idea. I only work here. This belongs to the hunter, like every other business enterprise here inside the camp. He's the head honcho.
I see.
Okay. Что продаете?
What do you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink.
Крутокрысы есть?
Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor, tobacco, food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that, but I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Я видел
I
бочки.
saw a bunch of barrels stacked up at the entrance to the building. Just out of curiosity, what's in them?
Nothing. Just some things that need to be stored. Take my advice, pal. Keep your nose out of the hunter's business if you want to keep it on your face.
Okay, it was just curiosity. The cheerful patrons of the bar. I suppose the gray substance one of them is sipping is liquor, but I can't tell what kind. I don't think he can either. This old metal stool serves as a table. The truth is, that its unfortunate appearance doesn't exactly invite you to sit on it. Someone went to all the trouble of taking the hood off an old Corvette and dragging it in here, just to turn it into a tacky bar table.
Ну, боги. Сейчас такой случай.
Hey, that's the guy I was talking to during the shooting by the cleanup brigades. What did he say his name was? The Hunter?
Ну, поговорим.
Mike, my friend, it's nice to see you again.
Hi.
Guys, this is my friend Mike. He's new around here. We met at one of the cleanup brigade's latest parties. Isn't that right, dude? Pull up a seat and have a drink. We like to be hospitable to newcomers.
Something tells me I shouldn't accept that drink. That it's not a good idea. Not anymore. No thanks. I don't drink.
Okay, Mike. Whatever you say. But I'm not accustomed to people turning down a drink. At least, not in my own establishment, in front of my men. So tell me, what brings you here?
Почему тебя называют
Tell
охотником?
me, why do they call you the Hunter?
That's a good question, Mike. You know my real name is Hank, but no one calls me that anymore. Now I'm the Hunter, because I can find you what you want, when you want it. You know, it doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. The new world gave me a new name and a new life.
A new life?
Yeah, a new life. It's hard to explain, dude. But I think in a way, you and I are similar, Mike. That's why I like you. Let me explain it to you. It was
Он
the
особо
great
закрытые
wave.
глаза.
The great wave that changed and purified everything. The old world was a messy, complicated, and unjust place. After the great wave, everything became crystal clear. When all the old laws disappeared, only one rule remained.
Сильно
You
или
gotta
слабо?
do what you gotta
Ну,
do.
окей.
It's that simple. And that's the universal law that puts each of us in our rightful place. Do you follow me?
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sounds like a handy way to justify anything and everything, even the indefensible. Yes, Hank. I follow you perfectly.
I knew it. I knew you'd get it
Я
straight
только что
on.
закрыл
But don't call
крышки,
me
чтобы
Hank.
мужик
I told you,
души
that
получил.
guy died in the great wave.
Один мой друг
A
приболел.
friend of mine is in a bad way. I need to know if there's a drug that can help the dissolved, and how to get it.
A friend of yours, huh? Friendship is important, Mike. The camp is a very tough place, and you have to be loyal to your people. I like your gesture. Do I know this person?
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, look, dude, I've heard something about that cure, but I don't know if it's true or just a camp legend. Sometimes desperation leads to wishful thinking. You know how it is. But if that drug exists, I can think of only one place you'd be able to find it.
Where?
There's a small medical center on the outskirts of the city. It's more like a pharmaceutical warehouse, but it's heavily guarded. I bet my bottom dollar that's where they keep anything that valuable. Maybe you should take a look
Который
at
сейчас
that
не
building,
ценится доллар.
if you can find a
Окей.
way out of this hellhole, that is. And I can't help you with that. You know I like you, dude. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stay away from those untouchables. From the dissolved. They won't bring you anything but trouble.
Что ты мне еще можешь рассказать о
What more
них?
can you tell me about the dissolved?
Only what the authorities say. And that's all I need to know. The disease is fatal. And they say you can catch it just by breathing next to one of those untouchables. That's why they have to get rid of them as soon as possible. Have you ever seen one of those poor
Untouchables?
suckers die, dude?
Типа неприкасаемых?
I haven't.
Well, you're lucky, Mike. I don't recommend it. It's a horrible spectacle. It goes something like this. After weeks of drifting in and out of their trances, something happens inside their bodies. Something fails all of a sudden. The pain makes them kick and scream like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Then their flesh begins to melt, to become liquid. Do you understand, Mike? That's why they gave it that name. They literally dissolve.
But
Да
that's
нет,
terrible.
dissolve.
Those poor people.
On the contrary, dude, those bastards spread the plague. It's them or us. Understand? Anyway, you know how it works. The cleanup brigades tend to be more than generous with responsible citizens who help them with their mission of tracking down the dissolved.
Ты не мог бы достать это
Can't
лекарство?
you get hold of some of that drug for me?
I don't get mixed up in things like that, dude. The army has made it very clear. Helping or hiding the dissolved will be severely punished. Not even collaborators are free from reprisals. You saw what happened to that mole. Those pigs are ruthless about this.
What are you talking about, those pigs?
That's camp slang. The soldiers, the cleanup brigades. The inhabitants of this shithole call anyone with a rifle and a uniform a pig. They can blow your head off right on the spot with impunity.
Окей,
I should
мне
be
пора.
going now.
Fine, Mike. You're welcome anytime. Remember, dude, here we can get you whatever you need. No questions asked.
Здорово.
A thick wall of scrap metal, debris and rusty metal surrounds this place on all four sides. It's a good 20 feet high. I can't believe it manages to stay up.
Удивительно, если бы вы это начали разгребать,
Cars,
то здесь было
machinery,
бы куча
steel,
места.
cement, even the skeleton of an old construction crane. This place is a veritable cemetery of the industrial age. An enormous rusty tank designed to collect rainwater. Everything indicates that the Great Wave wiped out the concept of running water in one fell swoop, at least on this side of the fence. This noisy electric generator seems very old and decrepit, but it works. She's a very young woman, practically a girl. She's playing by herself with some junk she found among the scrap metal and trash. Two guys entertaining themselves by playing poker. I suppose time passes very slowly in here. Even though there are only a few coins on the table, the game seems very intense. I'm afraid neither of them likes losing a hand. The wreck of an old ice cream truck. I don't reckon it's going anywhere without its wheels. It looks like the enormous skeleton of a beached whale.
Это она не очень на юную похожа.
Hello, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Excuse me? What did you call me?
You're Mr. Sleepyhead. I saw you sleeping in Colin's trailer. I'm so glad you're awake now.
Я долго болел.
I wasn't asleep. I was sick for a long time in that trailer.
No, you weren't sick. You were sleeping like a big brown bear, Sir Sleepyhead.
Мне кажется, она его сравнила с медведем более, нет? Bear.
And you would grunt in your sleep like a bear. A great big
Да, bear.
lazy bear, Mr. Sleepyhead. But I'm glad you're awake now.
Ну окей, мы заменим на бревно. Бревно же это тоже шутка в сущности. Мистер Сони, меня не так зовут.
Mr. Sleepyhead? No, that's not my name. I'm Michael.
No, you're just trying to fool me. You're Mr. Sleepyhead. My name is Rose.
There's something odd about this girl's behavior. It's true that she's very young, but she talks like a little girl. Nice to meet you, Rose. So, do you know Rod and Colin too?
Of course. I go over to their house a lot. Well, when they let me out of the van, that is. Rod and his wife have been very nice to me. Sometimes they let me play with Colin. We're very good friends. Are you a friend of Rod's and Colin's too, Mr. Sleepyhead?
Yes.
Пока что.
I'm friends with them too.
Do you want me to tell you a secret, Mr. Sleepyhead?
Of course.
I have your old clothes. The ones you were wearing when Rod and his wife found you. I have them in the van. They were going to throw them away, but they gave them to me to wrap my baby in. He'll be cold now that winter's coming.
Your baby? You have a baby, Rose?
Yes, I have a baby, but he's not with me right now. He got lost. Have you seen him? Do you know where he is? I have another secret to tell you, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Back in the van, Rose. Now. Move your ass. Get in it.
Another secret? Just a minute. Wait!
Get in that van, Rose.
It's a very important secret, Mr. Sleepyhead. Something about you. Something about before the Great Wave. But first I have to find my baby. Have you seen him?
Come on, Rose, you heard me. You don't want to get us mad now, do you?
I have to go. Goodbye, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Mr. Sleepyhead.
Poor girl. She's obviously mentally ill. She's just a little girl in a grown-up's body.
And you, if you want to go in there with her, you gotta pay like everybody else.
Проститутка. Prostitute.
Those are the guys. I believe it was called pimping before the Great Wave.
Амнезия выборочная, сука, я хочу сказать.
Hey, you guys.
You talking to us?
Парни, смотрите, какая пиццуха. Чё-то спина заболела. Пустите меня в фургон.
Let me into the van. I just want to talk to
Ты
Rose
можешь
for a few
поговорить
minutes.
через стекло, знаешь, разбить стекло и поговорить.
But if you go into the van, you gotta pay the price. Got any money on you?
No.
Nope.
I don't have any on me.
Then come back when you do and quit bothering us. We have a very busy schedule, you know?
The girl said something about a secret involving me. Something from before the Great Wave. It seemed important. But
Почему я доверяю
what
Дауну?
is it?
Не
Maybe
знаю.
it was a product of her madness. But I need to talk to her inside that van to get some answers. I'll come back with the money.
Now that sounds much better. I see that we're starting to speak the same language.
Бедной девушке проблемы с головой.
That poor girl's not right in the head. She acts like a little girl. How can you people be so unscrupulous?
Rose is an adult. She's earning a living. Like we're all trying to in this camp. Mind your own business, pal.
You're abusing a poor, disturbed girl.
Us? Taking advantage of Rose? Us? You want to insult us? We're giving her room and board. She's got nothing to complain about. But she's got to work. That's the only thing we ask of her in return. That's the way things work now. Bring us the money, then you can get in the van with her. Hey, do us a favor and spare us all that sanctimonious crap from the old world, pal. Don't waste our time.
Это
Is that
электрогенератор.
an electric generator? I've seen very few of these around here.
Yeah, in this hellhole, you can count them on the fingers of one hand. Nowadays, you can't buy generators like this anywhere. And with the power grid all blown to hell, you can bet that one of these is worth more than your life. We use it to light Rose's room. We like to protect our, investments. So don't get too close to it. These things are very fragile, and they have a bad habit of getting lost. Now, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we?
Мне больше
I
нечем.
don't have anything more to discuss with you.
Уйди, пидор. Так,
They're used and empty. Why would I want to refill these cans? Use this here? Better not. If these guys are unpleasant sober. It seems that this one's really old. It's not.
What exactly do you think you're doing? Hey, pal. Touch that generator and you're a dead man. My partner and I don't kid around when it comes to defending what's ours. That clear?
Extremely. I was just curious and wanted to see this relic up close. You don't have to get nervous.
это все? Окей. Кажется, все. Лезть. Яйцеголовая. Практически. Эй, Арнольд. Эй, Арнольд.
A small military sentry box with no door. So narrow that the soldier on duty can hardly turn around inside.
Hey, Rat, I don't think that motorcycle belongs to you. Or at least I don't remember seeing your name on it anywhere. Am I mistaken?
Are you one of those people who have no respect for private property, bastard? Do you know what we do in this camp with people like you?
I'm beginning to get an idea. I was just curious about this thing. I'm stepping away. Clean and well-maintained. This bike is without a doubt the best-looking object in the entire refugee camp. Although, that's not saying much, considering the disastrous condition of everything around me. It's the trio of soldiers who guard the camp. And if their expressions are anything to go by, they're as violent and unyielding as the barbed wire surrounding this dump. This is the barrier that vehicles pass through to get in and out of the camp. The soldiers keep it lowered and extremely well guarded.
Не знаю, в чем проблема банде охотника просто подойти ночью из угла и потихонечку так лук создать, знаешь, так в голову.
Where that man, the mole, was shot. It gives me
Ну
the
их
chills.
трое. Их трое, никого
I
сзади
may be able
нет.
to kill with impunity,
Взять
but it's still the
под
scene
себя
of
весь
crime.
лагерь и все. То есть пушки-то есть?
Dozens of bullet marks and some trails of fresh blood dripping down the wall. Oh my god. This corner of the camp stinks of gunpowder.
Расстрелять. Сталина на ваш нет. Точнее, нет, наоборот есть. Тетя Валя.
Nothing of
Тетя Валя.
interest. The floor of the room is littered with useless junk like this. But wait a minute. I think I can see something sticking out from under that piece of wood.
Hey! You filthy rat! Get out of my house! Do you hear me? Out!
Forgive me.
We've got nothing left for you to steal. Go back to your sewer, you filthy rat! Scram!
No, you've got it all wrong. I haven't come to take anything. But wait a minute. I recognize you. Weren't you with the man they shot out there a while back?
Yes, my name is Misha, and that man is my husband.
Что случилось?
But what happened? Why did they shoot your husband?
It's all your fault. All because of you cap rats. One of you reported him for harboring a dissolved. And those army pigs opened fire without even caring who they were aiming at, or how hard my husband had worked for them.
So the lady the cleanup brigades took away from this house was a dissolved.
That was my mother. I'm never gonna see her again. Damn filthy rats. Are you satisfied? It was you people that brought death to this family.
Why is everything all over the floor? Were you robbed?
They left us nothing. Those envious rats took everything. They'd been hanging around waiting for days. It seems like those bums have a sixth sense about where a dissolved is being hidden. When they saw my husband injured and lying on the ground, they forced their way in and looted our house.
Bums? Envious rats? Who are you talking about exactly?
Them! All of them! Everyone living here in this camp envies us. They envy who we are, what we have, our privileges, our army contacts.
So they envy you because your husband is a mole. Is that right?
Don't call him that, you worm! He collaborates with the forces of law and order. That's his job.
Ты обвиняешь
In this
именно таких же.
collaboration with law enforcement, wasn't turning in others of the dissolved one of your husband's duties?
Shut up! Shut up! You envy us too! You're just like the rest of the rats in this camp. And what are the three of us gonna do when my husband's gone? We'll lose everything. The house, the money, our privileges.
Сказал, что вас трое.
You said the three of us. Is there someone else in the family?
We have 2 children, 2 small boys. And in this camp, envy eats away at everybody. Now we'll be outcasts. No one will help us when my husband is gone. Winter will come, our money will run out, and my children will starve. Those 2 brats wear me down with their antics. I have to chase after them all the time, but they're my children, and none of this is their fault.
Как твой муж?
How is your husband?
He's badly injured.
Как
One of the
твои
bullets went through
мужа?
his stomach. He's not gonna make it. He's really suffering. He's in excruciating pain. If we at least had some morphine to ease his pain.
У меня есть алкоголь. Каких льгот вы
What privileges
лишаетесь?
are you going to lose?
As a collaborator, my husband always received special treatment from the army. More generous rations of food and water. A little money, clothes, a treat now and then for the kids. And now all of that's gonna end. We won't be able to leave the camp. When he dies, they'll take away his gate pass. We'll die locked up in here. Like
Так
you
смотри,
rats.
пока не сдох, проворачиваешь
Did she say a gate
пропуск.
pass?
Всего.
Listen, Misha, I can help you.
And just how are you gonna help us, rat?
There's something important I urgently need to get from the other side of the fence. While I'm out there, I could also get some morphine for your husband. I've heard that things are better in the city. It shouldn't be too hard for me to find some, but first I need to get out of the camp.
Like I told you, my husband has a pass that gets him through the gate. I could lend it to you, but I don't trust you. I don't trust you or any other filthy rat in this camp. Beat it! Get out of here!
If I want to get my identity back, I need that drug for the dissolved. And to get it, I have to leave the camp. I have to do whatever it takes to gain this woman's trust. No matter how unpleasant I find her screams and insults. Listen to me. I'm not just another camp rat. I'm your friend. I want to be your friend. You told me you were worried about winter coming. Let me help you. I'll bring you food. Food for your children. Then will you trust me?
I don't know. Bring me the food first. First you bring me food for my children, and then we'll talk about that pass.
I'll do it.
Знаешь, я думаю, Кока-Колу
Some of the drawers have been torn out of this old dresser. Now they're torn apart and spread out all over the room. She wants me to get her some food. Someone knocked over that enormous bookcase with all its books, and considering what it must have weighed, several people must have been involved in all this. A pack of filter cigarettes trapped under the drawer. Or perhaps wasn't. While she's here in the room, that... It's an old wooden pallet those kids painted a target on. The word pigs is scrawled in the center. One of the many sentry towers surrounding the camp. And inside each and every one of them, there's a sniper, armed to the teeth and itching to shoot something. The view from here is incredible. Until you get a look from this height, it's impossible to get an idea of the true size of the refugee camp. These kids must be the children of the mole and his wife. Isn't it awfully late for two kids this young to be out here by themselves? The older one can't be more than 10 or 11. Hi, kids.
Hello, sir.
What are you up to?
We're doing target practice. We're going to be real good shots. Someday, we'll get those pigs who shot Dad.
How awful. These children must have seen the cleanup brigades shoot their father out there. Poor kids. And how is the target practice going?
Bad at the moment. We need a real target, or we'll never be able to hit those soldiers.
У меня был щит, если бы я его подобрал.
Hey, quit talking to that rat. He's not one of us. You know what Mom and Dad say about the people in the camp. Leave my brother alone. Get lost, rat.
Yeah, you're not one of us. Get lost, rat.
I'm not going to pick them up. I'm sure it. Besides, I bet my aim is worse than theirs.
Я хотел пошутить про Кэрри, а потом понял, что скелеты нет. Мне нужна мишень. Мишень это...
A box that used to hold Danish butter cookies. God forgive us, but there's no future.
Можно.
A pile. There's nothing. There's no.
Так, чё вы мне...
Even though the metal was very thick, there's no.
Может, пьянит?
I don't think it's a good idea to offer him a swig.
Окей.
I doubt he needs my bottle of whiskey. I doubt that's his.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor?
I'm still interested in that box of food you offered me. I brought you this.
Let me see. It's a good brand of whiskey. But the bottle's been opened, and there's a lot missing. I'd take it, but I'd need something more.
I'm afraid I have nothing more that can interest you.
Too bad, pal. Come back with something more than just that bottle, and the food's yours. You know how it works. We accept everything. Cash, jewelry, liquor, cigarettes.
Okay.
They're used. I don't think the bartender would be interested. I'm not gonna give it.
Hi, Mike. So what brings...
I should be
fine. Remember... No.
Okay.
Someone placed up. Okay. It's a... They're used and dented. I don't think...
Наполнить, например.
These drums are full and sealed. Hello, mister.
I still am.
I should be... I prefer to hold on.
Hey!
Let me into the van.
Of course, it's none of our business what you want.
Why would I give the cans to anyone? I don't have this, but that's... I don't have the slightest doubt that these cans might, but that's still no... I don't have, but that... They're used...
Может бросить его.
I'm afraid I can't... There's no... I'm not gonna do it. The entire world. This guy already has enough junk in his Even though the metal is very thin, and the protruding spring, there's no point. The oil lamp is the only source that are... They're used and dented. It doesn't seem... It doesn't look... They're used and dented. I don't quite see how I could use...
Where do you think you're... No one leaves here without a pass, unless it's with a bullet between the eyes.
Yes, and we can take care of that for you if you don't get away from that gate. Come on, scumbag, stick your neck out. We could use a little entertainment tonight.
What's the matter, Rat? Cat got your tongue?
I think it's... Sorry, guys. I'm not looking for trouble.
Now that's what I like to hear. That's a good boy.
A pool of blood mixed with mud marks the spot where that man, the mole, was shot. It gives me the chills. They may be able to kill with impunity, but it's still the scene of a crime. Why would I give the... Impossible.
Я думал, нормальную мишень можно. Она по кругу называется, знаешь, такая.
Thank you. Now we'll really be able to become the best shots in the camp.
So now you're saying this rat isn't a rat?
No, I'm not. My name is Michael.
Hello, Michael.
So tell me, why do you want to throw rocks at those soldiers?
We have to get revenge. We're big boys now. And that's what we gotta do. Those pigs shot our dad. We heard him screaming. He's hurt real bad.
Mom said we'll never see him again.
Damn pigs! My brother and I are gonna get them. All of them.
But when they were Dad's friends, you used to say you wanted to be a soldier when you grew up.
Shut up. That was before. I wish I could reach those watchtowers with my rocks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That's not a bad idea. Something tells me that a little commotion along the barbed wire fence would be a good thing for everyone.
Время уже позднее,
Pretty
что вы
late for
делаете?
kids like you. What are you doing out in the street at this hour?
Hey, we're not kids. We have to practice our marksmanship. Our mom gets real mad when we do it inside the house. It's not like we have anywhere else to go in this dump.
Nowhere else to go? So you don't go to school? Don't you have any friends from school?
There is no school. Not since the explosion.
Our mom says we don't need it anyway. We're big boys now, and someday we'll be very important people in the camp. just like our dad. That's why we don't hang out with the other kids around here. Our parents say they're rats. They'd be a bad influence on us. Yes, we're going to be brave and strong, like our dad. Right, Michael?
Of course you will.
Мне нужна ваша помощь,
I need your help, boys.
How can we help you, Michael?
I have to get something from inside your house. It's something I need so that I can help your father. Understand? But your mother is very agitated, and I need you to give me a hand with her. It's a mission.
What do you want us to do, Michael?
I need you to get your mother out of the house for a few minutes. Just long enough for me to go in and get what I need. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, we're big boys.
I'll owe you. I promise to give you a reward.
Okay, let's do it. A mission.
A mission. Mission accomplished. Abort the mission. Abort the mission.
A pile of look, I'm not gonna pick this up.
Камень может пригодиться.
A pack of filter. Some of the drawers have been torn out of this. Now they're torn apart and spread out all over the room. Oh, my head! What the hell's going on? Oh, God! My head feels like it's gonna explode!
Michael, please, help us! Help us! Please, remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Repent! It's the sun! Was it our fault? Did we do it? Yes! We did it!
Enough! Please! Enough!
Please, Michael, help us! Only you can do it. Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God. What are these images? And that woman's voice. It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer. I'm trying to remember. And stop tormenting me. I hope Rod helps me find some answers. If not, I'll go mad. Absolutely mad.
Greetings, pal. Are you proposing a trade? What do you need?
I'm still interested in that box of food you offered me. I brought you this pack of cigarettes.
Virginia tobacco. There's not much of this in the camp. That's a good start. But it's not enough. The pack's been opened and several cigarettes are missing. I need something more.
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Fantastic. I think that's a fair price. I'll take both of them. Here you go, pal. The food package is all yours. Enjoy it in good health.
Нет, ну нормально, отобрал у нее сигареты, дал еду. Ее же сигареты в сущности.
Here, this is what I promised you.
That's all the food you brought? This will barely feed us for 2 days.
I'm sorry, it's very complicated getting more in the camp. I only wanted to show you that you can trust me, that I can help you.
That's what all you rats in this trash heap say? But in the end, only thing you're interested in is taking advantage of my husband and me.
I've held up my part of the bargain. Isn't that proof enough? Listen, let me have that pass to get out of the camp, and I promise I'll come back with the morphine you need to ease your husband's suffering.
Ah, okay. But you better hurry. Here.
What's this? A bracelet?
It's like an ID badge. Wear it and the soldiers will recognize you. It won't just get you out of the camp. It'll also help you avoid all kinds of problems with the army once you reach the city. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing by giving it to you. Just don't betray me, you rat. Bring me that morphine from my husband, and I promise you, I'll give you lots of money in return. Much more money than you could earn in a lifetime in this shithole.
No, that's not necessary. You never said anything about money.
I have to know you're coming back. I don't trust any of you, and I know that money is the only thing that'll make you keep your word. All you camp rats are alike. Now get out of my sight, and don't make me regret this. And don't come back without my husband's morphine. There'll be a fat wad of cash waiting for you.
Okay.
Нормально, я мог бы и без бесплатно. Это более полезно. Ха-ла.